look at how do we work with text in PowerPoint. What are the different options we have in text? What are the ways by which we can convert our text to bullets, to numbers, and also at the same time, how can we make our text box into two-column text? There's a lot of different options with text, right? So let's go to PowerPoint slides and understand the different types of text features that we have. So what happens is normally when people work, they work on PowerPoint and they obviously know how to add text by putting something known as a text box on their slides. In insert, we have something called as text box. People click on text box, draw a text box and start typing inside the text box. Now, so these are basically nothing but text boxes. So this is like one big text box. This is another text box that we have over here. Text box idhar hai, text box idhar hai. Like this, I can have multiple text boxes. So this is basically one big text box. I might want to give more flexibility between this text and this particular title and this text, and then I've got this chart in the middle. So what I can do is I can select this first paragraph and just cut it. So I say, okay, this is a particular text box now. And I don't want this chart business over here. I delete this chart business. So my now text box is very large. I don't need that much of space. So I reduce this text box. I can move this text box up and down wherever I want to move it. And what I cut, I will insert a new text box. And I'll paste it inside there. So what I cut got pasted in a new text box. The font and everything that it picked up was a existing font or a default font of my system. That's what happens. So I showed you just now how to cut content from one text box, create a new one and put the content inside that. That's what we did just now. Now I want to do any changes to this text box. I just simply click on the outline of my text box so that my cursor disappears. Right now you can see there's a cursor which is blinking on the word then. If you can notice, a black color line is going on blinking. I'm going to make it disappear by clicking the outline. See, it's gone. There is no line blinking now. The reason I do this is because I don't have to highlight my text. I don't have to do anything. I can do all the editing inside this text box without selecting any text. So I say, okay, let's start editing this. So what do I want to do? First, I want to reduce the font size. I want to make it 12. Next, what do I want to do? I want the first line of this paragraph every year. I want the word every to come a little inside by a few centimeters. So I go into paragraph and I have indentation before text. I have special where I have first line. And I say, okay, first line, make it come in by 1.3 centimeters. And I say, okay to it. Look at that. My first line of the text has moved in. And you must have realized I'm doing all this without selecting the text. I've just clicked on the outline of my text box. Next, I realize that I want this text, which I've pushed inside. I want the alignment to be justified. That means this text being like this, inside out, inside out. I don't want it. So I simply go to justification button, which is over here, and I click it, and it's justified, edge to edge matching. And this line is still inside as per my before settings. Then I realize that I want this particular text box or the particular text to be in a different color. So I can go here and change the color of my text to dark blue if I want. I feel okay. I want to give this text box a different color in the background. So I simply go into format. And under format, I've got various options to work with this text box. I can go here and I can change the entire style of the text box by choosing any of these styles. And that particular style gets applied to the text box. The text fill, I can change it. You must have realized I've done no selection. I've just clicked on the outline of my text box and I'm doing all of these changes. So I did this particular thing to this box, for example. Then I say, I don't like this color. I say, okay, let's take that one of the colors of the theme. I got the color of the theme also. Text, I don't like this. Okay, let's go here and change the text. It's got a white outline to it. This is white, it's plain black. The white outline. I've got certain frames or certain formats over here that I can choose. If I don't like any of these formats, I can say clear word art. I'll be back to my original. Then I say, yeah, I want, this looks pretty okay. It matches with my theme. Plus my text box is looking interesting with this particular format. Look at that. Same way I've got this text box. I can do a similar thing here also. But this time I'll take gradiency. I can change the direction of it. I don't like this dark color, it's too dark. There you go. So I gave a gradiency to this text box to make it look more interesting. And what I will do is, I've also gotten this very interesting effects known as shape effects. I say, let's give this box a reflection. The reflection has come at the back. You must have realized same text is readable down like the reflection. You can push this text box a little up. And I have a very interesting effect here created for reflection. So this is my third text box. I say I want to apply this text box with a different effect. I can again go to shape effects and I can say, okay, I want to apply, let's say, a shadow to this text box. Some shape fill. So I'll give a shape fill of, let's say, white only. And then I will go and give a shadow, for example. See how interesting this is, right? So I've got all different text boxes with different effects here. Let's take something which is more, yeah, this one is a pretty okay one. Yeah. You can take an inner shadow also, which can be a shadow coming inside your text box like this. See? You can also give a perspective to a text box, which can have a shadow like this, falling down towards the, so I can have a perspective like, suppose, like this. Look at that. See the shadow, how interesting it is. And then if you want this text box to have a little bit of a more prominence, I can, let's say, take a shape outline and give it a light outline like this. So text box starts standing out with this outline. And then what I can do, I can go to shape effects and go to bevel. And I can also give a bevel to this particular shape that I have. I can give any type of a bevel. So I'm doing shadow as well as bevel. I've got multiple effects that I can use. For example, this bevel is there. Now look at this box. Now same way, this is too much. This is too much to read. Look at the clutter on this page. Isn't it cluttered? I don't like this. It's very cluttered. So whenever you have too much of text to read and when it looks very cluttered, what we do is this. We click on the text box and we go into something known as columns. And we convert the same text into 2 columns and watch. Looking better, no? Suddenly there is a break in your reading. And then we go further one step. We go back to columns and we go to more columns. And under more columns, we have got an option known as spacing. I increase the spacing. See? So much better. The space in between. The same text, which was non-stop for a person to read, has now got divided into 2 columns. I go to the outline. I say my alignment is gone for a toss. What is this? ये क्या है? अंदर बार अंदर बार अंदर बार. ये टेक्स्ट ऐसा कैसा लग रहा है? आदमी रीड कर रहा है, अंदर पढ़ रहा है, फिर बाहर पढ़ रहा है. justify. Perfect. Edge to edge reading. Before slow down. And I say इसको push करना है. I go to paragraph. And before I increase the space. Okay, 6 points won't help. Unfortunately, there is no preview here which shows us, unlike Word. 18 में भी नहीं हुआ. 24 में भी नहीं हुआ. This is the only problem. Preview नहीं है ना. See, I did it. Perfect. Paragraph to paragraph reading. ये थोड़ा white है चलेगा. But ये आधा नीचे आधा ऊपर was very odd. So after I took a text, now look at this slide and look at this slide and honestly tell me, is this better or is this better now?